The king is dead, or at least its crown is slipping. For decades, Burger King was the world's favorite runner-up to fast food giant McDonald's, but even that title is slipping away. Sales are shrinking, the buzz is gone, customers are leaving in droves. So what happened? And can the king ever take the throne? On today's episode of the Infographics Show, we're diving into why Burger King is failing and the surprising move that just might save it. The world of fast food has been in crisis for a while now. People have less money to spend, even on affordable fast food. Those who do have the money are turning to healthier or more premium choices, but some companies are hurting more than others, and Burger King is definitely on that list. In 2020, in the middle of lockdowns, which reduced sales everywhere, Burger King lost its spot as the second largest burger chain in America to Wendy's. It wasn't a pandemic fluke either. As sales for other companies rebounded after lockdowns ended, Burger King continued to struggle. McDonald's sales jumped 25% compared to the first 3 months of 2020. Wendy's, the new pretender to the throne, saw an 18% boost in Q1 of 2022, and Burger King just 8%. Burger King also slammed the shutters on 400 stores in 2023, making their total number of U.S. stores dip below 7,000 for the first time in decades. The CEO of Restaurant Brands International, Burger King's holding company, Joshua Kovza, tried to frame the closures as a positive. He said the chain was simply getting rid of its low-volume stores, making it a leaner, meaner burger-making machine. Well, those weren't exactly his words, but you get the picture. So what's really happening to Burger King? Let's start with the basics. Do you know Burger King's slogan? No, it's not a trick question. And no, it's not have it your way. Give up? The new slogan is You Rule. But be honest, did you even know they changed it? Have you seen it online or heard it on TV in a way that it's stuck in your head? Fast food jingles are dumb, but they work. Their job is to live rent-free in your head and then pop up at 2 a.m. the night before a big exam. It turns out Burger King's marketing department has kind of been sleeping on the job, and that has even affected the food itself. Back in 2013, the company was already starting to stumble. This was obvious in the much-hyped release of a new menu item, Satis Fries. Burger King started selling crinkle fries made from a different kind of batter. It was a very misguided attempt to get onto the healthier food trend. The batter did absorb less oil, cutting calories and fat, but it also cut the flavor. Basically the whole reason that people eat fries in the first place. A healthy French fry is a contradiction. People eating fries aren't thinking about their health, and people thinking about their health, well, they aren't eating fries. And if that wasn't bad enough, the Satis Fries were more expensive than regular fries. Nearly a year later, the company realized it had made a massive mistake. It told franchisees, much to their relief, that they could finally stop serving those underwhelming, unfulfilling Satis Fries. Unfortunately, this news was followed up by several not well thought out marketing gimmicks. In 2015, CBS News reported on the Halloween Whopper special, it had a black bun that turned customers' poop green. On purpose. The dye would mix with the bile in people's intestines to produce green poop, something that quickly made the headlines. Surprisingly, this didn't make the burgers all that appetizing. When food causes your bowel movements, resulting in WebMD telling you probably have 2 months to live, you generally don't want to eat it. It might have sounded brilliant to the person who was tripping during the marketing meeting, but for a food company, not exactly the most appetizing pitch. In 2018, they rolled out the Nightmare King, a burger with a green bun. Burger King claimed eating it every night could actually give you nightmares. But who wants a green burger? Just to wake up sweating from a dream where you then show up to work naked and your crush is pointing and laughing. Seriously, what exactly did Burger King think the appeal was? Besides the food, the company's marketing and brand awareness was failing on other fronts. In the 2010s, most fast food companies realized their loyalty programs were a great way to get repeat customers. Chipotle, McDonald's, and Starbucks started gamifying loyalty programs that kept customers coming back to stores in exchange for perks and the occasional free item. But even though Burger King had launched an app in 2009, it lagged way behind the competition when it came to marketing ideas like these. In fact, Burger King launched its first loyalty program in recent memory in September 2021, after the company had already taken a beating thanks to the pandemic. It's called Royal Perks. Customers seem to like it. Tasting Table ranked it 4 out of 15 for fast food loyalty programs. But it was so late to the game, it meant a lot of fast food fans were already signed up to other programs. The other reason Burger King is failing is its non-promotional food. Strangely enough, both because the food is done poorly and the food is done really well. We'll explain. One market that Burger King has failed to corner is the breakfast crowd, which is an increasingly important market for fast food companies. McDonald's took in $2.2 billion in revenue from its breakfast crowd in 2021, which wasn't even a strong year. That makes up 25% of the company's total sales. In contrast, Burger King breakfast only accounts for 13% of the company's sales. And breakfast is really becoming the most important meal of the day for fast food companies. Even all the way back in 2014, Technomics said that fast food burger chains have finally reached maturity in the US market with little to no overall growth in sales. But between 2007 and 2012, breakfast sales were climbing up by an average of 4.8% annually. So it was the last relatively untapped market. To be fair, Burger King did make an attempt to corner it, and it was a disaster. In May of 2016, Burger King launched the Egg-normous burrito. Some customers found it tasty, some didn't, but almost all agreed that it was far from enormous. It was pretty flat, actually, and everyone hated the sauce and the hash browns. A mashed poll found that 36% of respondents voted it the worst Burger King breakfast item. Yet, even when Burger King nails it, they still let their customers down. On June 3, 2021, Burger King released the Chicken. Customers were impressed. People raved so much about it that they called it not only better than the Whopper, but better than Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich, a fast food joint that specializes in chicken. Fast food critic Bill Oakley called it the best sandwich on the menu at Burger King, and it's the best thing they have introduced in decades. At last, Burger King had a win on its hands, so the company eagerly waited for their sales report after their new sandwich was released. And the sales were down 3%. How? How could such a tasty, delicious new menu item make things worse? Well, because it contributed to one of the issues people were starting to have with Burger King: slow operations and long wait times. The selling point of the Chicken was that it was hand-breaded and full of premium ingredients. The problem is that hand breading takes time and premium ingredients cost money. Burger King employees absolutely hated Chicken orders. Making just one sandwich needed 21 steps of preparation, and it could take up to 19 minutes to make. That is longer than waiting for appetizers at a sit-down restaurant. Never mind a sandwich in the Burger King drive-thru. Executives never 100% confirmed why sales went down after the Chicken was released. However, it is possible that the long wait times caused by the sandwich turned a fair amount of customers away. They charged $3.99 to $4.99 for an item packed with pricey ingredients and slow to make, leaving razor-thin profit margins. So in 2022, less than a year after the company had released the time-consuming Chicken, they pulled the plug. And while this was the financially responsible thing to do, it also aggravated the customers who loved the Chicken. It's a bad move for brand loyalty. Maybe Burger King should have factored in the cost and operational issues of selling the Chicken before its release. At the same time, Burger King decided to trim down its overly complicated menu and refocus on the thing that had made it famous: the Whopper. Except that they made it so expensive, customers didn't want it anymore. MoneyGeek conducted a survey of 145 different fast food stores in 50 cities, and they got the average price for a burger, fries, and soft drink from the nation's top chains. Between 2021 and 2022, the price for a fast food meal like that rose 9% on average across the industry. While Five Guys, Wendy's, and Jack in the Box were the priciest, Burger King had the biggest price increase. The average price for a Burger King meal rose 21% from $6.76 to $8.18. On top of that, the chain pulled a classic move: shrinkflation. Smaller portions, same price, and to make it worse, they scrapped discounted Whoppers altogether. The company made its serving of chicken nuggets contain 8 instead of 10 nuggets. The shrinkflation tactics and huge price increases were a dead giveaway that all was not right in the land of the king. Burger King did try to make some of its items more affordable with promotional menus, but since we have already gone over the many questionable ideas of BK's marketing department, it hasn't gone as well as the fast food giant had hoped. In December 2020, while people were suffering from lockdowns and inflation, Burger King launched the $1 Your Way menu. Customers could get classics like the Bacon Cheeseburger or Chicken Jr. for only $1. This was followed up by the $5 Your Way meal deal a year later. This gave customers chicken nuggets, french fries, a small drink, and a double Whopper Jr. with a side gift of a cholesterol count that makes your doctors order extra tests. Restaurant Brands International CEO Jose Sil at the time boasted that these menu innovations were game changers, and monthly sales and store visits did improve after the $1 value meal was launched. It led to a total increase in same-store sales of 0.7% in the first quarter of that year, which was still, unfortunately, a 3% decline compared to 2 years before. But the fast food giant was noticeably quiet about what the value menu was doing to actual revenue. The $1 and $5 deals may have gotten a few more customers in the door, but what was Burger King giving up to get them? After all, Burger King launched those deals when most competitors were going in the exact opposite direction. While 99-cent and $1 deals were all the rage in the 90s, inflation in food prices make such deals almost impossible these days, unless you're planning on losing money on them. While Burger King didn't release specific statistics on the revenue its $1 value menu brought in, some info from a lawsuit over a decade earlier might help shed some light on potential issues. In November 2009, the National Franchise Association in Atlanta, Georgia filed a suit against Burger King Holdings Incorporated, and this was significant, as the NFA owned 80% of Burger King's U.S. franchise base, 5,200 locations. Why did they sue? Because franchisees were angry at the $1 double cheeseburger promotion that Burger King was running at the time. They said the promotion was literally losing money for the franchisees, to the tune of 10 cents or more per sandwich. Burger King took it to the U.S. 11th Circuit Court of Appeals and argued that it had the contractual right to force franchisees into the value menu. They won, but the franchisees hit back with a lawsuit, their way of saying, "Nuh-uh." So what does this have to do with the 2020 $1 Your Way menu? Well, thanks to inflation, $1 in 2009 was worth $1.21 by 2020, and $1.26 just a year later. Franchisees were already losing money on a $1 double cheeseburger back then, so how could they possibly make a profit on a $1 bacon cheeseburger in 2020 and 2021? Bacon ain't cheap. However, you'll notice that we mentioned Wendy's and Five Guys as the priciest chains of the lot earlier, and they're doing just fine. We'll get back to the reason why later and what Burger King keeps getting wrong about its pricing. But before that, let's get into the ultimate reason why Burger King is on the way down: the restaurants themselves. They're outdated, dirty, and the service experience varies from bad to actively hostile. Dateline decided to do some digging on fast food chains to see which restaurants were in the worst and best state. They went from store to store surveying each branch's situation, and what they found at Burger King left them speechless. They sampled 100 stores from each major fast food chain. The results? Burger King came out on top as the dirtiest. Those 100 Burger Kings racked up 241 critical health code violations. One store in Virginia had 14 violations, from grime on the drink machine to uncovered food in the fridge to employees not washing their hands. Maybe customers' poop wasn't turning green from the food dye after all. And if you eat fast food a lot, you should know that out of the 1,000 total restaurants surveyed, 613 had at least one critical violation, so bon appetit. Anyway, Burger King's reputation as a chain with dirty stores and horrible service hasn't gone unnoticed. Comments from frequent or formerly frequent customers on forums like Reddit reveal people's real feelings. Multiple locations of Burger King I've visited in the past year have had the worst interiors and service. The restaurant looks dated, patties aren't always hot, the app has weaker offers, food is mediocre tasting, Wendy's does in fact have them beat on everything. And lastly, the BK by me fails because they hired the worst of the worst workers. It's not like people suddenly turn rude the moment they put on a Burger King uniform. So what is really going on? Well, low pay, short staffing, and hands-off management from franchisees. And we'll get to why that last one is such a problem in just a bit. According to Indeed, everyone at Burger King is underpaid. The average restaurant manager of a Burger King gets just over $52,000 per year, or 7% below the national average for a job like that. The average cashier salary at Burger King is $12.42 per hour, or 9% below the national average. In a time of rapid inflation, those salaries would barely be keeping most Burger King employees afloat, according to World Population Review, which had by far the lowest estimates for what a living wage in each U.S. state would be. A Burger King restaurant manager's salary wouldn't be considered enough in at least 12 states. A cashier's salary? That isn't a living salary in any state. Smart Asset calculated what a comfortable wage would be in various U.S. states using the 50-30-20 rule, which means 50% of income goes to rent and food, 30% to discretionary, and 20% to debt repayment and savings. And they found that in the most affordable state, West Virginia, a single adult needs almost $81,000 to live comfortably. To work all the way up to restaurant manager and not to be able to live comfortably in any U.S. state, or even live in at least 12 U.S. states, has to be frustrating. No wonder the people working there are so cranky. Not to mention the understaffing, which results in viral stories like that of Burger King employee Nikia Hamilton. Hamilton worked at a Burger King store in Columbia, South Carolina. She went viral after she ended up running the entire store by herself during 2 different shifts. As she told the local outlet, Watch News, "One of my employees just quit on me, and they didn't have anyone else to come in, so I had to work by myself and close by myself, had to do the dishes, do prep, do the floor, do the front counter, the drive-thru." Now, we're no experts in how many people it takes to run a fast food store, but we have to imagine that that number is more than 1. And all of this seems to have happened because no one on top is paying attention or even cares. BK employees have gone online to say this about their working conditions. It comes from the top. There's no monitoring. The workers rule the stores. A lot of the problems trace back to Burger King's franchisees, the people actually running the stores. Some are reportedly so far below standards that they're on the verge of breaking franchise agreements and risking losing their locations. Insiders say it's a widespread issue, with conditions so degraded compared to the past that it's become laughable. And in early 2023, 2 of Burger King's biggest franchisees filed for bankruptcy. Tom's King Holdings and Meridian Restaurants Unlimited declared bankruptcy because of a drop in revenue and foot traffic. Tom's ran 90 BK locations in 4 states. They cited an unfavorable labor market and inflation as the reason for its business failures. Meridian ran 118 BK locations in 9 states and said much of the same. The problem is franchisees running that many locations in places so far away from each other are bound to cause problems. Almost every giant fast food chain operates with franchisees, but it seems like Burger King doesn't keep much of an eye on theirs. No wonder the restaurants are dirty, and the workers are rude, and BK is collecting health code violations like Pokemon. In fact, they realized that the way they were dealing with their franchisees was a bit of a problem after these 2 bankruptcies. So they issued a new rule that said that each franchisee under BK could only operate up to 50 stores, and they should be within driving distance. Hopefully, this new rule helps turn things around by allowing the executives on top to keep a closer eye on what's happening in their stores. And that also brings us to the surprising strategy Burger King could use to reverse its fortune: sell more expensive premium items. We know making more expensive food, especially as a fast food joint, sounds like a horrible plan for increasing sales. But there's a difference between making your basic run-of-the-mill fast food items pricier and serving premium food. Wendy's experienced huge success with their Made to Crave menu, which included items like the Pretzel Bacon Pub Triple and the Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. Though these items sold for $8, the ingredients made customers feel like they were getting a great bang for their buck. Maybe that's why Wendy's sales went up by 10% in 2021 after the introduction of the Made to Crave menu. Coupled with the increased popularity of fast casual chains like Shake Shack, it's clear that customers are willing to pay more for higher quality as long as fast service items are maintained, employees are washing their hands, and the taste is worth the price. If you're going to be selling basic fast food items instead, you better make sure you're keeping the price affordable while still making money. And make sure your store isn't an outdated, dirty health code violating mess. It's a tough balance these days. We don't know if a premium menu item is going to be BK's next step, but all is not lost. In 2022, BK announced that they were going to invest $400 million into an image and company overhaul called Reclaim the Flame. $150 million of that money is going to go to advertising and other digital updates. Meanwhile, $250 million will go into badly needed restaurant equipment, tech, and infrastructure. Burger King is calling the physical revamp of their stores a royal reset. The president of Burger King North America says that the brand is looking for a refreshed image with this new reboot. However, Technomic's 2024 report on fast food chains still ranked Burger King number 8 based on sales and unit counts. It was below brands like Chipotle, Wendy's, Dunkin', which isn't even nationwide, and Taco Bell. And Florida's Consolidated Burger Holdings, another BK franchisee that operates 57 locations, we guessed that rule about 50 locations max was ignored, filed for bankruptcy in April 2025. Burger King's sales decreased 1.1% in the first quarter of 2025, but since Wendy's decreased by 2.6% and McDonald's decreased by 3.6%, maybe that's good. Or maybe the entire industry is burning to the ground. We'll see. Now that you know why Burger King is failing, you might want to check out this other video on why all is not well over at Mickey D's, or click on this video instead.